Welcome everybody to the Bae Network. We are actually coming to you live as soon as I enable my Live Me feed. We're actually using something called Live Me. If you guys don't know what it is, you guys should check it out. It's pretty cool. It's like basically like a webcam. People can even throw you cool little gifts and stuff. But it is teen appropriate, so that's cool too. So nobody's asking me to take my clothes off, which is nice. Okay, so let me just post this real fast. We are as Live Bae Network recording. Live Bae Network recording. Cool. I think that's everything. Yep, we're live. Cool. So now we're live in real life, and we're also making a recording. So that's neat. All right. So basically, what we're gonna be talking about today, and just so all of you Live Me members who are watching, this is being recorded right now, so this session's gonna get thrown up on the YouTube channel. What we're gonna be talking today is just a little bit about government. I was curious if people understood the structure, the hierarchy of government. It sucks because everything I write is gonna be backwards. Okay, so I'm just going to just do one letter. Okay. And I'm going to do lowercase because that seems like it'll be easy. People, government, citizens. Okay. So, you see that? It goes like this. The people create the government, and then the government created the citizens. Okay? So you have to understand this. That you are a citizen, okay? You are a citizen right here. Now there's two different types. There's actually several different types of citizens, so it's going to break off into different categories, but just kind of understand this. It's just for today. So like a little thing goes people, right? Goes people, government, people create the government creates citizenship, creates citizens, creates what a citizen actually is a fictitious entity that's owned by the government that is given life by a soul, or you. Okay, so your citizenship is basically it exists on papers and in the minds of others, possibly, potentially yourself. Okay, now what things here are real? This is real. People are real. Okay, people, living, breathing people. All right, are people. You're a people. It's actually, people can be singular or plural. Like moose and moose. They're just moose. They're people. A people. Okay? We the people, we the common people, created in order to form a more perfect union, yada 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 yada. Government. We created the government. Okay? And there are public servants. Okay? Right? But then you wonder, okay, here's a police officer. We'll just draw a little sheriff Star of David is actually, has Jewish semblance to it. All the police officers are basically just hired criminal thugs that work for the Jewish banks, and once you follow the money high enough, everything leads back to the Jews. But and they tricked us into making us feel bad for them. Those smart people. Okay, so the people created the government created the citizens, and then there's actually several different types of citizenships, all right? And there's several different governments here in in this territory known as the Northern Americas, okay, we have quite a few different governments here. Actually, a lot of people don't know this. We have de jure governments. Like there's two governments right now operating in Texas right now. Okay, there's the government that's actually the one that was there before the corporation named the United States of America, also known as the District of Columbia. And remember, it's different than the States United. That's different than the United States of America, also known as the District of Columbia. They created a sub-corporation called the State of Texas. And they actually have a lot of sub-corporations, and they're all just legal entities on paper that require chartership from the government, who the people created to basically keep a watch out for corporations, because corporations back in England had taken over and controlled everybody, suppressed people into tyranny, and because it's all for profit, it's all for private gain of elite individuals. So the government is supposed to regulate the activity of corporations, all right? And so, and because that we told them, hey, look, we want your help in making sure, and they basically appointed within themselves a group of people, okay, who were in charge of creating charters to chart for other corporations, that way that they could get permission to perform certain activities. And so, by the way, if you think I'm wrong, that's okay. You can actually call. We're going to actually start soon. Really soon here, we're going to actually have a phone line. So if you ever call to argue, if you ever want to argue, tell me I'm wrong, or anything like that, or if you have different information, you'll be able to actually call in. You'll be able to actually call in and tell me why I'm wrong. And so, and I want to know if I am wrong. And so, but the people created the government, okay? The people created the government, and the government created citizens, and now there's also, so what type of different governments are there? There's state governments. There's state governments. There's... well, okay, let me put it this way. So, government, how I hate that word so much. I went to, I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. Basically, the reason I bring this up is that governments are just, like, we created them, but they're not real. Like, it's so crazy. So, because they're completely powered, they get all of their sustenance off of our life source, like our energy, our magnetic power that we attract things to us into our lives. Like, we bring things into our lives through our thoughts and actions, okay, is what I'm saying. And then with all those things, we're forced to give a portion of it to people, so-called governments, or aka bankrupt corporations. They force us, literally, under threat of imprisonment. Like, we will come to your place, we will put you in prison, we'll take the property that you've been paying off for the past 30 years that you don't actually own. They have that power, because no one challenges that. No one's competent enough to even represent themselves in court, much less challenge advancing armies on their own estates, which they don't own anyways, because those estates were given to them. Not even, actually, they were like, in the culture gave them to you, but by law you don't own those names. You don't own that name, that first and last name. You don't own it. And so you kind of been tricked into operating in the legal system under the pretense of fraud and copyright infringement, and so you don't really deserve a fair trial. You don't really deserve a hearing because you're sort of breaking the rules the moment you begin, and you don't really care enough about this information or think it's relevant enough to you to make a difference in your life. So you like your slavery, actually. You are a slave, and you're okay with that, and I'm okay with that too. There in the current reality, at the current density that I'm operating at, there is something called duality and opposites, and so I am okay with operating under that. And so, but my whole thing is do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? I'm not talking about who. I'm not talking about who the hospitals, when they got tipped off by your parents. Oh yeah, we're gonna call this living being this. They're like, oh, well, we're gonna create a name, and it's gonna be called that too, and we're going to register it with the Bureau of Statistics or whichever, wherever you go to get your. I can't think it off the top of my head right now. But where you go to get your birth certificate, you can receive a certified copy. Can anybody please tell me if there's 2 originals created when you get your birth certificate? Do you get 2 of them? Like one is that even possible? Isn't it an original because there's only one of them, or is it like or do they give you an original and you an original? Like there's 2? No, I that sounds ridiculous. I had some lady try to tell me that earlier, which I don't have any proof of that yet. She hasn't substantiated her claim yet, and I'm actually getting ready here to make a phone call to this organization, whoever they might be, and I'm gonna say I want the original of the original copy, and they're gonna tell me no, well you can't have that, it's here for safekeeping because it's actually being traded as a securitized bond with the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission. Like you are basically a stock of the United States of America, and you are traded internationally with other so-called governments, or aka bankrupt corporations. And so, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Okay, well, here at the Bae Network, we suggest that you should, well, not should, we don't like the word should. We prefer to use language that is, enlightening and so be always expanding, or not. You don't have to, but that is our motto: is to be always expanding your consciousness and all that. There is a fly in the studio. Yes, there is a fly in the studio. And so, if you don't know who you are, then how can you know to go to make claim to your heritage, your throne, or your kingdom, or whatever it is? Because the truth is, you're a king and a queen. Like, you are what we call, you're in such a weird time. I don't know if there's ever been a time through all I mean, I'm sure there has, but it's so weird. Like, this is how weird it is that you're king or you're queen, like you are a sovereign, and because you have ultimate free will and the unlimited ability to contract, okay, as the Constitution states, not that the Constitution gives us our rights, it just lists a couple of them that we were smart enough to remember, and so, but it's like you're a king or you're a queen and you're actually pretending. You're playing an act. You're role playing. You're basically saying, I'm gonna pretend to be a corporation and therefore a slave. Not really slave, but subordinate. I mean, it is a slave because when you look at all the context of it, but really they're just in charge of you because the people said so. And who's the people? I'm the people. I'm a people. I am a people. I do not have a I do not have a corporate entity that I answer to. It's not mine to answer. That'd be copyright infringement if I ever tried to use that name for any rhyme or reason. And so I'm not allowed to use that. If people wonder why they get arrested after giving them the name, the officer, what's your name? Officer, I don't have a name. My friends call me this, but I don't have a name. I'm not a corporation. No, a name implies corporate ownership, corporate title. A name, only corporations have names, okay? People are so and so and so. You are so, okay? You don't have a name. You do not have a name. If you have a name, it's because you're pretending, you're masquerading around as a corporation, okay? And so if you're masquerading around as a corporation, then that means that you're subject to all of the laws and jurisdiction of the corporate, or you're subject to the rules and regulations, acts, statutes, and all those things that apply to corporations. And so think of how genius it is. It's like they say, okay, most people don't realize that in a court, there's a lot of different kinds of courts, but as a universal thing in court, if you don't object to it, it's the same as agreeing to it. Okay, and so people wonder how the IRS are able to do what they do. And it's like, well, you never objected to it. It never officially objected to it, anyways. And so what are some call to actions here? Well, eventually we will be way more on, like, soon, like chaos is coming, and out of the ashes will something beautiful be created. I can see it. I've been visualizing it in my mind for so long now, and it's coming. I feel it. I see the signs moving forward with the operations of it, and what you can do right now is a couple things, because I'm telling you, only the absolute most capable best of the best are going to be a part of this. And so, but you can start studying your ass off. You can start studying like you've never studied before, okay? On the subject of law, medicine, and music, all right? You can become you can seriously get yourself into shape, get super, super healthy. We need people, like, this is going to be a shining example, okay? A shining beacon of truth. And so we're calling for the best of the best, all right? If you don't realize that you're the one creating all of this, if you think that any of this is because of other people, then don't apply. Like, this doesn't concern you. You have a mission here on earth to do, and we're not trying to take you away from that. They're still for a very long time. There's going to be the need for workers, for people who build others' dreams at the cost of their own, and that's probably because these people who are doing so intend to evolve on a planet elsewhere, and so they do what they need to do to get some experiences that they planned out here, and now they're leaving. And so for us, though, we know we're going to be alive for the next hundreds and hundreds of years. We know that everything that you grew up being, that people attempted to indoctrinate upon your consciousness, it's all falling away. It's all going to be falling away, and it's going to be so chaotic, it's going to be so scary as it falls away, that most people aren't going to be able to recognize it for what it is, and that it's this amazing opportunity to create something from the ashes. And so, but it's just going to be the best of the best, and we're going to make a beautiful Agarthan temple, and it's going to be a place of self-worship and study, and we're going to be growing all of our own food, producing our own energy. We're going to be collecting our own water, studying science and the art of living a meaningful life. And so I'm excited for the future. I'm really, really excited for what other people are going to be able to contribute to this. And I'm also excited for I'm excited for the nation of Agartha. This is going to be fantastic beacon to everyone out there of what this could become, of what people could replicate in their own states. And it will be a network of sovereigns. And it's gonna be Sparta and Athens combined. And so the cool thing is we're being led by the same people who the same minds and hearts that started Egypt, that started Atlantis. The same wisdom and power that gave birth to Greece and her mighty sons and daughters. It's going to be guiding us also. And so when you realize that what type of power is behind these movements, you'll be able to better understand where we're headed. And so anybody who feels they're ready for the call, start learning about medicine. I implore you, and I don't mean the medicine that man creates. I mean herbs. I mean oils. I mean learning about nutrition and health and the ways that it can create a economy driven by spiritual practice. Like, we're going to be creating a spiritual economy. In fact, there's you can go to spiritualeconomics.org. There's an amazing new field of study that is absolutely untapped. It's just untapped. It's completely untapped, not practiced here in the States. And it's time for us to do something about it. And so, all right, this is about how long the episodes are supposed to last. And I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. I just want to shout out my homeboy Sam with his growth theory. Super cool. I love his stuff. He's going to be working with me on this project, and we're going to actually have some really sweet t-shirts out here soon, just so you can rep some coolness. And I'll have it soon here, and you guys just wanted to kind of give you a little heads up on the surprise. But it's gonna be cool. It's like like the art where they have the art that's like made with other words and stuff. That stuff's awesome. But anyways, okay. So I will see you guys later. Noble out.